So we're pulling up to the Deimos Staryard so I could tear this ship apart and help you guys build it. What's good, guys? This is a brand new build. This is our Deimos Battlestar, aka the Leviathan. This has got to be one of my most creative builds of all times, and it's been a while, a long while since I actually built this thing. So we're actually going to be experiencing this together. Excellent. So this right here is the savage. This is the GOAT, the god, the legend, the Deimos Battlestar MSHD. This thing is absolutely insane, and I'm going to tear it apart for you right now, and we're going to rebuild it. It's probably going to take us a while. Majority of all of this build was actually done right here in the Deimos Staryard. I am unfortunately going to be honest with you. I cannot truly remember where I got all the pieces of this thing from. Like, let me just skimming over it, I could see that I had a Varun ship in the beginning. I'm also going to post my Deimos. I'm going to post the Deimos showcase. So hopefully I'll leave a link down to that in the description below so that you guys can check out that video, because I'm pretty sure when I created that video, I also told you exactly what base ship you needed to get in order to make this. Just staring at this makes me feel like there was some type of Varun ship that I used, because these Nova parts that are in the front here, these breaking things that are just under the Deimos front, are really familiar, because this whole section of the ship is a part of one of the Varun ship builds. So if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where this came from. And a lot of these extra pieces, like these 30T hauler cargo holds, these are things you can come by from going to Red Mile, and you can also get these in some other places. So let's get into it. So we finally have broken apart this legendary ship that I have made, my ultimate role-playing Deimos Battlestar Leviathan ship build. One of my favorite builds of all time, just because it means so much to me. Like, there's actually a legitimate reason for everything that's going on in this ship. I wanted to make a cruise liner, a ship that was just a monster that when you saw it out in Starfield, you would just run in fear, because this is the one ship you do not want to mess with. It has the all black aesthetic with a little bit of gray tintion to it. It has a bunch of windows all over it so that you can see outside of the ship at all times from every direction. You have this entire middle section that is open, which gives it like this Mustang type feel, where there's those Mustangs out there that have the engines sitting on the hood. That's definitely the vibe I was going for here. And I want to break this ship down for you, put it back together, and hopefully you enjoy it as much as I do. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is the complete base of the entire ship right here. There's nothing lower than this. So we'll go ahead on every single part. I'll point out every single part for you so that you can line them up and get your ship built just right. You have a Deimos Wing A STBD over here to the left, as well as the Akura Landing 11 landing gears that go into the NG20 landing gears, 2 of them to be exact, which goes into the whole Deimos Skeg B and Deimos Skeg A for the left side, kind of like base of the ship. Then we'll go a little bit towards the center. You have a Deimos Skeg A that goes into a Deimos living quarters 3x1. This entire base is all about living quarters and the brig. It's one of my favorite builds so far, because you hop in the ship, right? You have the mess hall where all of your entire crew and everybody chills, kicks it out, relaxes, conjugates, and does whatever their daily activities are, down and just having a good old time. And then you actually have their living quarters. So this ship actually feels like a living body. Like, it feels like something a bunch of crew members would actually be stationed on, and or traveling out in the Starfield trying to get to their next location safely and taking out anybody and everybody on the way there. So you have the mess hall that goes into a bunch of living quarters. You have the 3x1 living quarters here. Then you have another 3x1 living quarters that attaches straight into a brig. that wraps around into the all-in-one berth. And the all-in-one berth is kind of like where my security sleeps for the brig. And it's just a cool aesthetic to see it happening and work all together like it is. Then down the center, you have the NG-20 landing gears wide. You have 2 of them to be exact. Let's flip down to the bottom to make sure we don't have another one. Nope, we don't. You have the 100 DP slim docker bottom that attaches to a Deimos companionway. This 100 DP slim docker bottom attaches to your Deimos companionway 1 by 1, and this is going to give you an amazing aesthetic of having a docker that's also attached to the main ladder that is going throughout this entire ship. All right, now moving right along, that companionway is also attached to the Hopetech HAB cross brace, which is going straight into your Stability Pro landing bay. Now, just in front of your landing bay, you have 2 more NG-20 landing gears. Of course, you have a Deimos Keg B, and then you have the Deimos Keg A right in front of that. And in the back, that's going to be on the opposite side of one of your engines, you have a Deimos Wing A port. Simple enough. Then you have a Deimos Wing A port right over here on the side. With that being said, flipping over to the back of the ship, you're going to have a couple of windows. You have a porthole over to the left. You're going to have a Hopetech Nose B in the center. And you're going to have another porthole on the right to round the ship out and making sure you always have the best view possible. And that right there is the entire base of the ship. You don't need any more or any less to it. And it's going to go into a companionway that goes into another companionway. This goes from a Stability Pro landing bay into a Hopetech HAB brace, into a companionway that goes into a companionway that goes into a special HAB. The HAB that's supposed to be sitting right here is actually a special HAB, which is the Battle Stations HAB. And it's kind of like a sandwich, and it's kind of cool the way I have this built, because there's going to be kegs that line this area of the ship right here and right there in the center. You're actually going to have your grav drive. So this ship is special, to say the least. I want to go ahead and take the second layer of the ship, which is right here, point everything out for you guys, and then we'll reattach it onto the main component. Right here you have a SAL engine, 6830 engine, that's going straight into a 700T helium-3 tank. That goes straight into a Deimos science lab, which goes into an infirmary. Of course, you got a little bit of design bits right here. You got the Deimos cowling 4, and on the side of that, for just an extra aesthetic, because I really like how you have the brake lights that appear on this thing, you have the 220 CV landing gear on either side of the ship. Right here in the center, of course, you have the Hopetech HAB cross brace. Behind that, you have a hauler cargo hold, and behind that, you have another Deimos keg. So this is the Deimos keg system that's next to the grav drive, that's next to another Deimos keg that I was talking about, that lines the second layer of the ship. On the opposite side of this HAB cross brace, you have the Deimos storeroom, which goes into a HAB spine, which goes into a workshop. So you have absolutely every single HAB you could ever want or need in the game, all at your fingertips. So we'll go ahead and highlight all there. Let's highlight all here, highlight all here, and highlight all in the center. Make sure we're getting all of these pieces. And we're going to reattach this entire second layer back into the ship the way it's supposed to be. So what you want to do is you want to take this and you want to have it lined up like a sandwich. Kind of just like that. It should turn green and everything should just line up absolutely perfectly. To make sure that you have it lined up correctly, you want to take a look at that porthole that's sitting right under the bridge towards the back there. As long as that is right under the lip of the bridge, you're good to go. Go ahead and push A, drop it down, And since these are lining up just right, you did it correctly. As well as if your Deimos kegs are also sitting in the back just like this alongside of the beta grav drive, then you got it perfectly in alignment. You have it perfectly in alignment. With that being said, let's go ahead and slap on this side over here. We'll break it down and then we'll put it back onto the ship. You have the Deimos braking engine that's going into a Deimos computer core 2x2. That goes into a Deimos engineering bay, which goes into the Deimos battle station 2x2. You have another companionway with a whole bunch of portholes on it so you can have full visibility. And then you have your other engines attached to this, two to be exact, one on the top on a little bit of a higher level and the other one a little bit lower than that. That's being cleanly rounded out by this entire Tayo cowling foretop and Tayo cowling and Tayo end cap. And make sure you highlight all of these beautiful pieces and you're not missing a single bit of it. Go ahead and grab it. And we're going to reattach it right onto the ship. Now, the thing about this is actually going to hug the ship and it's going to turn green when you get it into the right position. So let's triple check to make sure we have everything that we need the way that we need it. This part of the ship should actually be sitting just in front of the shield and it should be hanging off of the front of the ship. Bringing it up too far to the front will actually reveal the reactor, which is not what we need. So make sure you have it in the right spot. Select A and you're good to go. Let's go ahead and slap on the opposite side. On the opposite side, of course, you have the Deimos control station that's flowing straight into a Deimos engineering bay 3x1. This is going straight into an armory, and you have all of the cargo holds and everything that you would ever need. Let's go ahead and select all the pieces here, as well as the Tayo pieces. Grab it and make sure that it's completely lined up so that this side and the opposite side are in alignment. That looks just about right. Let's select it and put it back. And there you go. That right there is the entire Deimos build done in a nutshell. Let's do the last spine aesthetic to this build and we are good to go. You'll go ahead and single click highlight every single one of these pieces. Every single one of these spine is giving this ship the accent and the respect that it deserves. And when you have an enemy shooting at you, they're probably just going to run at the fact that you just look so damn clean. This spine is going to go in flush with that front piece right here, highlighted right under the circle, as well as going in flush with the back of the ship. We're going to push A to confirm that, and we're going to grab the opposite side and do the same. If you like what we do here in the channel, make sure you smash that like button and sub to the channel so that you don't miss out on any more tips, tricks, guides, and more content like this for Starfield. This was your boy Emma Brimson Stage D. This is the Deimos Battlestar, aka Leviathan, a complete savage and amazing ship, and I'm so proud of it. Right then and there, we have everything we need. This ship is missing a weapon system because I was out of money at the time. Unfortunately, I had no money left to deal with it, but it's all good. This is what we came up with though. It has shielded cargo, it has an amazing reactor, it has all the weapons you could ever possibly want, it has the best shield in the game, of course, and it has some pretty decent weapon systems. The first one being the Obliterator weapon system, and the second one on this one is being the PBO 175 auto helion beams. Just a straight savage to be the least. I hope you enjoyed this build. I hope you have a blast with this ship and it gives you as much love and takes out your enemies just the way that it does for me. This thing was built from everything you could possibly find in your home base or your actual own outpost. I would advise you to go out to Serpentis to see an early encounter of an enemy that might have the ship that you need. It's pretty easy but could become tedious over time. Make sure you're equipped with an EMS so that you can either take out their engines as fast as you can and or just have a savage ship to wipe it clean. This is your boy M of MC Sage D for now, though. Yes, sir. I'm out of here.